Francophones and the French language has a special place in Canadian immigration. French language speakers have access to different immigration programs, be it for work permits, be it for permanent residence under express entry, or be it for PNP programs. If you know the French language, you can have a lot of opportunities open up for you with respect to Canadian immigration, especially in today's day and age where a lot of the other programs are restrictive and they are restricting intakes. How can you learn French? How can you prepare for the French exam? Let's talk about some tips and tricks, some methodologies that you can follow in order to obtain first CLB 5 in French and then finally CLB 7 in French. Stay tuned until the end of this video. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Dhruv. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. At our firm Effizient, we assist all prospective immigrants with their immigration to Canada. If you are an aspirant, if you have questions, if you need assistance, here is our contact information. Feel free to contact us. We would be happy to chat with you. If you would like to speak to me personally with your immigration questions, the link to book an appointment is in the description of this video. I would be happy to chat with you. Now, if you are a complete beginner to the French language, how can you proceed with learning French? What can you do? Let's talk about it. But before we go into those details, let's quickly answer the comment of the week. This comment comes on our LMIA exempt offer of employment video about the employer portal. And the question is there a time limit to apply for work permit after you have made the submission of the job offer on the employer portal? Well, there is no specific timeline as such. However, just make sure that the information that was entered in the job offer with regards to the employment, the start date and all of that aligns with your work permit application and there is not a huge discrepancy in there. Apart from that, from the government side, there is no limitation. You can submit it whenever you're ready, as long as the information matches. I hope this was helpful. Now, with regards to the French exam, in order to achieve the required scores in the TCF or the TEF exam, these are the official language exam results that are required by IRCC for any application. And these are the exams that you need to write. First of all, you should know the exams that are TEF and TCF. So make sure you focus on these exams when you're preparing for your French. Now we move on to how to prepare for these exams. This video, I'm going to talk about a very high level overview of what you can do, the basics to get started. Guys, I'm not an expert in French. I have not done these exams, but this is information I got from a very important client of ours who basically comes from a zero French background from India, and they were able to study French and they were able to crack the French exam in order to score the required scores in the French proficiency exam. Firstly, I would like to thank this customer of ours for sharing their valuable insights and giving me the tips and tricks on how people can prepare for the French exam. Now guys, just like your English exam, the French exam has 4 components: reading, listening, writing and speaking. And you need to be able to perform well in all 4 of these in order to get the scores required, especially for express entry category specific draw for French category. And for Francophone mobility, you just need CLB 5 in speaking and listening. So if you are targeting the Francophone mobility for work permit, then speaking and listening are the sections. But overall, for the entire exam, these are the 4 sections which are the same as your English exam. Let's first start with the listening section of the exam. How can you prepare for listening? So guys, listening is all about being able to hear the language and understand what's being said and being able to interpret the language. In order to work on your listening, one way is to listen to French podcasts. One of the podcasts is called Innerfrench Podcast. You can find it online. Second good way is to watch French vlogs on YouTube. There are numerous vlogs on YouTube in French. Watch those. You can also turn on the captions and try to interpret what's being said and see what it means in English. On top of that, you can watch French movies in with English subtitles. That can definitely help you learn the language, be able to absorb the language and understand what's being said. Another way is to use the Chat GPT voice assistant. You can talk to Chat GPT and you can talk to Chat GPT in the French language, or you can also talk to ChatGPT in English language and tell it to translate and speak to you in French language. This way, you can build a bridge between English and French and start understanding both in terms of speaking and listening French. Talking about speaking, that brings us to the second module, that is speaking and how to prepare for speaking. Now guys, speaking French or any new language, in order to perfect your speech, the best way is to talk in that language. For that, the easiest way is to find a friend who knows French, who is francophone. Maybe you have someone living in Montreal or somewhere else in the world, and talk to them. Talk to them every day for half an hour to 1 hour. Just converse in the language, and that will really help you improve your speaking. Second good way is to again go to the ChatGPT voice assistant and start talking to it in French. And as you talk to it in French, hopefully you can start to improve your language. Next, let's move on to the reading section. How can you improve your reading? How can you prepare for reading? In order to improve your reading, the best way is to read in French. Now, there are some books that you can read, some short stories that you can read to improve your reading. Some reading material includes Le Petit Prince. This is a novel, French short stories and French long stories. These can help you understand the language, be able to read it in short form and in long form, and hence improve your reading ability. Now the last section is the writing section. This section basically requires a lot of practice, but oftentimes it's hard to find evaluators. Now to improve your writing, to perfect your writing, of course you need to write a lot based on a prompt. And the best way to practice writing or to evaluate your writing is to work with ChatGPT. You can give it the prompt that you are writing on and tell it that you are writing in French, you are a beginner, and then give it what you've written. It will assess it, it will give you pointers, it will help you improve your writing. Working with ChatGPT for improving your language can help you a lot. Other large language models like Gemini or Claude, you can also use those. Now that we've talked about all these different modules and how to prepare or how you can practice, let's talk about the basics now. Basic is how to perfect your grammar, how to learn the grammar for the French language. There are two excellent resources that have been shared with us that have worked exceptionally well. The first one is a book, Complete French All-in-One. You can see it on the screen here. This is a book that will teach you all the basics as well as all the important information about the grammar in French language. If you go through this will help you a lot in terms of grammar. Second great resource is a YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is named The Perfect French with Delane. You can see it on the screen here. This YouTube channel has a lot of short videos on French for beginners and how to learn French for all different purposes: speaking, reading, listening, writing. And this can help you not only get started but give you great information about how you can improve your language. In order to practice your language, there are two books that were recommended, Édito A1 and Édito A2. Both of them you can see on the screen right now. These books are practice books. You can use it to practice your language and perfect your craft. That's it for this video, guys. In summary, we've talked about how as a beginner you can target the French exam. As a beginner, I can understand there is a lot of hesitation, there is a lot of anxiety, and there is a lot of self-doubt whether you would be able to do it or not. Trust me, I've seen so many different people who have come from zero and achieved the required scores in French, and they were complete beginners just like you are. You have to target the exam, you have to follow the methodology to crack the exam, and you have to be diligent. This requires a lot of work, this requires regular practice, and only then you would be able to do it, but it is not impossible. To summarize, in this video we have talked about how you can improve your listening by listening to podcasts, watching videos, watching blogs, how you can improve your speaking by speaking with someone in French, by talking to ChatGPT or other large language models in French, and also by having a friend who you talk to regularly in the French language. We've talked about how you can improve your reading by reading different books in French. We talked about all the different books that are available short stories, long stories, etc., that can help you improve your reading. Again, with listening also, you can improve your reading if you have subtitles. All of these things can be done in parallel as well. Lastly, we talked about writing, how you can improve your writing, which can be done via writing in French and then asking ChatGPT to evaluate it. You can work with ChatGPT to evaluate your performance in writing. That's it for this video, guys. If you are one of the folks who was able to achieve the required language result in French by being a complete beginner, or even if you are not a beginner but you have some tips and tricks to share, please comment them in the comments of this video. This will help a lot of people who are trying to get on this path, who are trying to learn this beautiful language, and it would really help them understand and gives them some direction with regards to how to learn French. That's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you are notified about any new video that we upload. If you think this information will help any of your friends, family members, relatives, cousins, please share this video with them. Again, you sharing this content helps us grow and help so many people who may find this useful. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.